Hi, and welcome to ThinkTank Thursday with Trainertainment. I'm Denise Killian. Appreciate you being here. You can see our setting is a little different. We are live and in person, which always makes me super happy. We're going to get to this Yahoo in a second. But first, I want to thank our sponsors. Appreciate them for all that they do to help us to bring ThinkTank Thursday to you each and every week. And of course, if it's Thursday, we're asking you to take a couple of minutes out of your day and spend some time thinking. Outside of the day-to-day and the hustle and bustle, get out of your head and start thinking about bigger things. And today, we've got a lot to talk about. So, who is this man sitting next to me? This is Jim Bennington, and he is co-founder of No Cash Value, LLC, which is a consulting company that works with folks in the FEC industry. But we're not going to really talk about that, Span.
No, that's not where we were.
That's right. We're going to talk about pivot, and not the Ross and Friends yelling and screaming pivot.
We're not moving a couch here.
We're not. We're talking about pivoting in your life. So you and I started talking about how we've both made some pretty big pivots in our lives in the past couple of years. We both have a history in broadcasting, which is interesting. And now we're not doing that anymore. I am not a journalist anymore. You are not in broadcasting.
I'm not in broadcasting, and I'm not running day-to-day operations for a national entertainment company.
There you go. So we've made some pretty big pivots recently, and I thought that it's such an interesting topic. And whether you're thinking about a pivot in your life, in your career, and the choices that you're making and how you're living your life, but also in business and every day, we got to pivot.
You do. It's sometimes you have to telegraph the pivot. You have to see that the field is about to change and see it's coming, and position yourself so that you can slingshot and put energy into the pivot. You don't always get that chance in a professional pivot, in a personal pivot. Some of them are based on tragedy, response versus a reaction. So a career pivot is critical. It impacts every other aspect of your life, social engagement, your commitment to things that you may already be committed to financially, or dates that are in the future that are tied to your current position. But now I've got this pivot. Do I still keep that relevant? Do I still look to the future in my current situation, or do I need to blank slate that?
And it's tough. It's tough, and I think it's scary.
It is. It's humbling. Because you have to identify, how much do I want to expose my vulnerability to the world while I'm still trying to maintain this? I got this. This is cool. Everybody has to pivot every day. Everybody has a changing career every day. Just be like everyone else. But everybody else is faking it until they make it. So what do you model your behavior after? How do you focus your energy?
And I think the one thing I'm going to delve into for a second, and we're going to go back to what you were saying, is everybody's faking it till they make it.
That's right.
At what point, I think as we grow and have more experiences in our lives, we come to realize that, nobody actually knows what they're doing. And that's okay. And it's a liberating moment.
That's right.
When did you first figure out, that big boss, or that CEO, or my parents, or that doctor who I just do anything and everything that the doctor says, whatever she says I'm going to do? At what point did you realize, and can you place it when you figured out, we're all full of it?
Yeah. Probably the first time I actually had to set my own agenda as my own business owner. I'm used to working in a corporation where I'm working off of somebody else's perpetual agenda. Their agenda changes, that forces me to adjust my dynamics in the moment. But now I don't have the agenda that they didn't do this to me. They didn't put me in this moment. They didn't tell me that at 2:00 today I'm meeting a client that could change the dynamic of my organization. So now I have to create each moment. And so what you find is it's very isolating to have to pivot, because now you have to create your own process, your own identity. How do I want the world to recognize me as a professional? Not as a representative of a brand, but as an individual with a skill set that can be applied forward without the support of a major corporation. So going from this team play sport of working in a corporate environment where it's competitive combat sport to now I determine the friction I want to have on a day-to-day basis. To get to that pivot point, I'm still not comfortable with it. I'm 1 year and 1 month into owning my own business, and I still feel like someone's going to come and take it from me or tell me, you didn't follow through with the meeting or the agenda. Like, I still am learning to hold myself accountable. Right? So that's the real skill set in pivoting, is learning to hold yourself accountable to a new set of rules that you create. So your integrity is based on the way you operate your business. Do you call people back on time? Do you play the power role? I'll be casual, late to force my dominance in the meeting here. No, you don't have to do that. You can decide where you want to be in your pit. How would I want the world to see me?
Which is equal parts exciting, empowering, and terrifying.
Oh, yeah. I would not want to be sitting in front of a psychiatrist right now saying all this live, because I don't know what it sounds to the average person. It might be crazy to me. Hey, this is just another Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, or wait, it's Thursday, isn't it?
Thursday.
Yeah, see, the corporate agenda said it was Tuesday. Who would?
It's all right. It's all right. Well, it's whatever day we want it to be, really. So if you're thinking about, you know what, I want to start my own business, or I want to open another center, or let's throw out these components of my business right now and remodel and use this space for something else. Those big pivots that happen certainly are scary. The accountability piece, I think, is a really big one, and a really big shift of how do you hold yourself accountable when you don't have the boss over you, you don't have the manager, you don't have a coworker working side by side where, oh, you made 20 calls today, I got to make 25. Like, right? You don't have that, and it's all on you and your decisions. How do you hold yourself accountable? Do you give yourself a talking to?
Yet. As a matter of fact, daily affirmation.
Okay.
100%. Read somebody else's positive words. Don't try and create your own positive words. You got this. Come on, mirror man, talk to me into this. Read somebody else's positive words and reflect on it. Read somebody else's experience and compare it to your own that day and say, wow, Noel, what were they going through when they penned this line? Let me build off of that for the next 24 hours. One daily affirmation. Wherever you draw that affirmation from. Heathcliff used to be one of my favorite, or Doonesbury, or, you know, you could go to Bloom County even and find your daily affirmation. But now you have to look other places to find it.
Yeah.
And reminding yourself that other people have done what you're doing. It's not the first new business that's ever been started. You're only going to grow through failure and challenge. You won't necessarily grow from always being the superstar. You have to recognize you have to have a sunny day to appreciate the rainy days, and it has to rain to appreciate the sunny days.
Yeah.
So that's the balance, is find your daily dose of me. This is me today. Take it and then run with it until that energy runs out, and start the next day with a new daily dose of me. Make it about you first, because you're the business owner. If you're talking to yourself in the corner as a business owner, you're having a staff meeting. Convince yourself that this is the right thing to do. We have the budget. Let's go.
I hit.
So, hold staff meetings, hold yourself accountable, and read other people's words and experiences and take an input and reflect on it.
So you brought up the failure word, the big S word, which I, at this point in my life, have learned more from my failures than I have from my successes.
Yeah.
Which also I think is that when you realize that, it takes the scariness away from it. But there's a courage in failure.
That's right. Because at the end of the day, you just didn't achieve an objective, but the process is still in motion, right? So go back and refine the process, reapproach the goal. Maybe the goal is too lofty. Maybe it's too far out there. And so now you need to recalibrate your capabilities and your expectations to deliver that result. But, expect to fail. And when you succeed, celebrate it.
Yeah.
Expect to fail. And you won't be disappointed. You don't aim for the bottom, but if you touch it, you can go back up.
Well, and you can push yourself off and go up faster, right?
You can, even a career change, a dramatic career change, you can play off of your previous skill set to build a new toolbox. And as long as you just don't abandon the tools on the side of the road, say, I don't need any of that. You can't white box yourself when you're going through a pivot. You can't completely desaturate it, take it to zero, and then start adding color. You have to maintain with where you are and start to replace the pieces that are missing. And it can't be superficial replacements. I miss the fact that somebody else paid for my Outlook for 25 years. Now I get to buy my own software license, and guess what? I am going to decide how our emails look. And it's empowering to say, I lost that piece where somebody was managing, they had the spoon that fed me, right? But I can still feed myself. I know what that is. And so pivoting is critical to acknowledge the trauma of it, but don't live in the trauma of what caused the pivot.
And don't let that prevent you from that feeling.
I would agree 100%. Don't be afraid of your own shadow, because everybody has a shadow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody has a shadow.
How much for you in your experience, both in your big pivot, but also now consulting, is the importance of talking and getting help?
It is. It's active listening and active speaking, right? You have to actively listen to the problem, live inside the problem, and then be of clear mind to present one or two reasonable solutions. You can't present too many at one time. A consultant is not there to give you necessarily, this is my take on being a consultant, I'm there to advise you on my experience base against your new venture. My experience tells me that you can be successful in ABC. However, your approach is going to rearrange this to C, A, D, F. And helping people prioritize their focus is really what the job of a consultant is. I'm not there to sell you anything you weren't already buying. I'm just there to organize the pieces of the puzzle as you make the picture.
And that for so many people, especially if you're starting your own business, doing your own thing, there's a perception, I think, of, I've got to do this all on my own. It's my company. I decide everything. I've got to figure out all of these things all on my own. How essential is it to get some help, whether that's from a peer group, another person who started another business that's similar, or getting a consultant, getting a coach, getting an advisor, asking for help?
I think it's critical in the sense that you're going to need a community to focus your energy on. As say your pivot is professional, right? In our situation, we're taking a career that's very intentional, very linear, and now saying, how I pull up the elements of that and you branch out. So the vulnerability comes, I think, in not holding yourself accountable, not being accountable to the processes that you introduce to people who need help. So as a consultant, people are coming and asking me for help. If I go in and say, look, you've got these problems, you should hire me, I'm going to turn them off right away. So I have to let them be vulnerable, recognize their vulnerability, and then create a pathway for them to introduce their concerns and their vulnerabilities to me and say, I hear that. I've experienced that. Let me be your kind of partner as we work through this evolution, this situation. So it's a lot of professional therapy sessions ultimately, because people have an idea of what they want. They don't necessarily know how to get there. Or they're in love with the idea of being in this business, but they have no idea how to operate it. So they have to ask for help. As an independent operator now, as an individual with my own organization, I'm not an expert on payroll laws, tax laws. So I have to find my resources for help through my community of peers. I stayed, as I was making my career pivot, I dug deeper into my relationship with the association in my industry. Go to my peers, not necessarily networking for jobs, but what were you doing when you were starting up? Did you experience this, and how did you grow through? And so you lean into a community of doers that have done it, that can help guide you through that. Because if you try and go alone, you're going to suffer professional fatigue, personal disappointment. You're going to take that weight professionally home with you personally at the end of the day. It's going to dwell inside of you the next day you start your day, and you don't have a positive feeling about going after it. So you have to stay committed to your process and hold yourself accountable. That's what I've learned as an independent operator now. I can do anything I want with my business. I can change the color of my logo tomorrow. But do I have to?
Right.
Do I need to? Should I call a friend and say, hey, what would you do here? You know, you don't have to go it alone.
Yeah.
That's the pivot. If I had to take one conversation to this, you don't have to pivot alone. You don't. You could bring professionals, friends, go out and make a new friend and say, hey, I'm going through this. I need a new friend. Would you like to be my friend?
Yeah.
You know, let's go through this together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
And yeah, even at Trainertainment, I mean, we are consultants in a sense, right? We're coaches.
That's right.
Training. We have our own coach.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
Even though it's what we do, we have somebody that helps guide us as well. And so the importance of recognizing that you're not an island.
Yes.
And that there are people that you should be calling on for support and help. And that it doesn't mean you're a failure. In fact, it helps guarantee your success.
I think that's true, because if you also start to surround yourself with a community of support, you'll find that people will recognize, even when you don't recognize it yourself, maybe vulnerabilities, or, you know, you really might want to build up this side of your business, or you're going to build lopsided. So finding a professional mentor, I'm still in search of the dirty dozen. I want 12 mentors, right? I really want a diverse group of people helping, guiding me through the next 20 years of entrepreneurship. It's not something that one should take on their own long term.
Yes.
It's like, you know, you should surround yourself with a community of successful people. If you have to pivot professionally, personally, seek guidance and comfort in that community, and you know, lean into it as much as you can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, it is time for the ThinkTank Thursday question. Are you ready? All right. Take deep breaths.
I'm in.
We believe in growth at Trainertainment.
Yes.
So what do you do to grow yourself personally?
I love that. I would say I spend a lot of time coloring in a coloring book, truthfully, and time coloring in a coloring book for me is actually, it's some of the time that I enjoy the most, because I didn't have to draw the picture. I just have to give the impression of what I want it to look like. And so I don't have to think about the form. I just have to fill in the shape. And so I take that as a very therapeutic moment. Sit down and just be creative. That's for me, is the creative moments and time.
I like it.
It's we're creative individuals, human nature. You're always thinking and wanting to improve things, but sit down, decompress. I actually forgot the question.
What do you?
Because I want to go color.
What?
Thinking about color. Like that's my happy place. It's a zen place.
I like it. I like it.
No, slow down and do a simplified childlike activity. and find joy in the simple things. I enjoy audiobooks. I have a bit of a split personality when it comes to the audiobooks because I can't just listen to one.
Okay.
I have to listen to 3 different audiobooks at the same time on completely different sections. So I like to have fantasy, I like to have a business, and then I like that kind of personal growth so that I can go from a creative to a professional mindset in my off time. And we're always working as consultants. Every introduction is a potential client. That's a potential opportunity. So I want to be prepared for that. So keeping my mind soft and then not engaged it's very intentional.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. How can people get a hold of you?
Just call Beth Stanton.
Outside of calling Beth.
Outside of calling Beth, you can reach us at ncbllc.com. That's the breakdown of No Cash Value LLC. Through our website with basic introduction. In the industry, we're around. We love improving entertainment options. We like to work with operators who are established but looking to grow their business or maximize their attractions that they already have. I don't have anything to sell you except operating experience. So that's what I'd like to think is my forte this week.
Excellent.
I'll try something new next week.
Pivot. Love it. All right. Well, thank you for being here.
This was so fun.
Good. I totally cornered him, and he really had that.
I'm proud.
Thank you.
Yes.
But appreciate you, and there's some valuable lessons there. It can be scary. You're not alone. Find a way to hold yourself accountable and reach out to others.
Embrace your vulnerability. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay.
There it is. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here and joining us this week. Also, of course, want to thank our sponsors because they make all of this happen. So we appreciate them bringing us the opportunity to bring these conversations to you and hope that you took something away from them. If you need any assistance, if you need any help, certainly reach out to Trainertainment. We're here to help you. No Cash Value LLC. There you go. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next